I knew I had to get it out, and I knew I could share that with my best friend. And I remember setting up the rules with her very clearly of how I felt safe to talk about this. And I remember at that time, and I knew she loved me and supported me, but she also needed to know what was going on because I wasn't so happy and I wasn't being my full self all the time. And so I said, I have something to tell you, and here's what it is, I'm gay, but I don't feel very comfortable talking about it, but there's times I'm gonna need you and I wanna talk about it, but I don't want you necessarily to bring it up when I'm not prepared for it. And so she was very good about just meeting me exactly where I needed to be and really be able to talk through the things when I needed to talk about it, and then like just put it away and turn it off when I wasn't ready to deal with it. And she really was there to really listen to all the pros and cons about how I wanted to, come out, present myself, when do I want to tell my family, and start talking about things like dating and other things that I never talked about with anyone without maybe a filter or, so I would say, talking to my best friend that I felt that was very safe, and letting her know what the rules of engagement were, and then I felt comfortable.
I think for me it was sort of telling my friend Stephanie. She was my best friend at the time, and I think there's just a sense of relief when you tell someone for the first time, and especially when you know it's sort of a safe bet to tell them. It's sort of like all this pressure just sort of is released, and it encourages you to keep doing that. So I think, going for that safe person is a really good way to start.
So one of the things that I benefited from is that my mom worked at an auction where she had an opportunity to work with two gay individuals who used to be partners, and then they just turned out to be friends. And she actually talked to one of them. His name was Frank, and she said, my brother's going through a tough time right now, or my son is going through a tough time right now. Would you be willing to speak with him and sort of give him your insight? And I had never met him before, so it was another part of my coming out process. The reason it was positive was because he was able to talk to me about being gay and about trying to find resources in that time, which was the New Jersey, New York metro area, as if it was me expressing interest in a hobby that I wanted to pursue. Not to trivialize the experience, but to sort of underscore the normalcy of just happening to be gay or lesbian and wanting to try to find resources. It was one of the first times that I had a conversation where I didn't feel like there was a stigma attached to being gay.
The good experience that I have coming out was actually at my previous employer to my former boss, and that also she was very friendly, very social. That sort of even asked me herself. I actually didn't have to come out, but it came out in a regular conversation where she didn't assume I was straight. Like in a lot of places, for me, I think people a lot of times just assume that I'm straight, and she asked me. We had a happy hour after work, and she asked me, "Do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend?" And then it was just very natural. But what the positive experience that I remember was that she didn't assume, and she sort of asked in a way that made me feel very comfortable, and it was just just a conversation. It didn't feel like, oh, I have something to tell you, or it was just very natural, and that created a very close relationship with us in the years to come, because I worked there for 4 years.